The Gospel of Matthew was written in and for a Christian community of Jewish origin. So there are many places in Matthew's Gospel where they look to fulfillment. And by the time we get to chapter 13, this has already happened 10 or 11 times. In the law or the prophets, it says this, and with Jesus, it comes to fulfillment. We have here a very puzzling quote from Isaiah's prophecy. You shall indeed hear, but not understand. What's with that? Jesus, I thought, was a very good teacher. I think it's part of what's going on in the nature of a parable, and also what's going on in the dynamic of our relationship with Jesus. Parables, the weeds and the wheat, the mustard seed, a dragnet taking up all the fish, a treasure found in a field, a pearl. These are things that any listener can hear and understand on a literal level. You can picture these things. But parables also contain reversals and surprises. Like so many of Jesus' stories we know in that parable about the man who was mugged on the way to Jerusalem, that the hated Samaritan ends up being the real neighbor. And in the parables, this sort of thing happens. The mustard seed becomes a big bush. Jesus is using a hyperbole. A measure of yeast makes enough bread to make 100 loaves. So there's something about the ways of the kingdom that Jesus is inviting people to go deeper into. But sometimes our expectations or our current way of looking at things has to be totally broken apart in order to get to a new or deeper truth, in order to get to a new or deeper relationship. And I haven't really figured out this section to my satisfaction, but I think that's what's going on. They look, but do not see, hear, do not understand. But then he says, blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Attracted by the teaching of Jesus, moved by his presence and his works of power, or drawn into a relationship with Jesus, something that is new, for which we need to leave behind former ways of understanding and former ways of looking at this world and the kingdom to come.